Greetings and welcome to Live with Chatufa. We really appreciate you for staying on this platform and supporting this channel. This channel has to grow and it can only grow through your support. We are very grateful for those that continue to support and, of course, those that are always regulars on this platform as we continue to give you more and more information of what is happening around our country. Right. Zanu PF youths working at Bikita mine fired by Chinese owners. Right. This is the issue that we have always been talking about, that Chinese are beginning to grow too big for their boots. You see, we saw the ill treatment of many people in Zimbabwe, many workers, Zimbabwean workers, black workers, by the Chinese, and these Chinese are brought by nobody else except Zanu PF. It is them that bring them, and because Chinese are also very corrupt, they are coming in and they enter into some dubious deals with big wigs of Zanu PF. They are given pieces of land or pieces of mining areas to do mining, and whatever that they are getting out, they know that there is a percentage that is given to individuals who are in Zanu PF, not even to the government itself, but to members of Zanu PF who are up there in the echelons. The Children of the War veterans report that Chinese lithium company Bikita Minerals has fired Zanu PF youths who were working under sanitation department. When they opened operations, they promised jobs, but now they are replacing them with Chinese nationals. It's happening a day before Mnangagwa's birthday celebrations in Mashingo. So can you see? And there's a letter here indicating that the way some people that have been whose contracts have been terminated, and it's the very disturbing thing is that what is now happening is that it is actually the Chinese people that are now taking these positions while the country is suffering from all this unemployment that we experience now. It is really very ironic that we can have some people that are coming from all the way from China and brought by the very same government that is failing to provide work for its citizens, and then the same Chinese are now employing their own people all the way from China, and then decide to fire our own people from Zimbabwe. So this exactly is a big lesson that we are learning, that I am sure quite many other African countries have not really realized that the Chinese, these people that they want to bring and call them investors, are definitely not investors. Chinese, most of them, when they come only to benefit. They come only to milk from whatever country that they enter, and whatever that they do, they don't do wholeheartedly. Even with tenders that they are given, we've seen so many times roads that they were made by the Chinese and other infrastructure that are made by Chinese. You'd find that before long, those things start to depreciate and deteriorate. Not that the Chinese cannot make, strong infrastructure or, things that are quite authentic. It is just because they have disrespect for the Africans. Because Chinese, like I've said in the past, they produce everything from the best quality of produce to the West. So you'd find that if you go to America, the artifacts that are traded by China into America are the best of the best. If we find the shoes or jackets or whatever that are sent to America, they are of high quality, and what they send to Africa is what tears within a week, because they've always also had this belief that Africans are poor. They won't manage to buy maybe the quality clothing or whatever artifacts that they produce, and hence they decide to send the rejects that they will sell at a very low price. But that is just prejudice. You'd find that you might have people in Africa who have a lot of money, more than even those that are in America. But Chinese don't want to believe that, and of course, I think it is also not only that, but also the hate of black people, the dislike of black people. Just us having black skin, it is just a matter of problems already when we meet these people that are looking like they feel that they are good because maybe they have some other better, according to them, better complexion or something like that. So when they come also into the African countries, it is unfortunate that they come and disrespect the local people. They disrespect the laws of the local people, the tradition and the culture of the local people. They don't respect that. They continue to do what they want. And this is a big problem that we continue to experience, especially in Africa. So our leaders and our politicians must be able to study what these people are doing when they come into our own countries, and are supposed to put in place ways and means of making sure that we curb this kind of problem. We've seen British companies and American companies being in Zimbabwe for a very long time. And these are actually the companies that have produced the towns and the cities that we have today. They've also been developing areas in which they were operating, building schools, building clinics, building roads, bridges, and things like that. But I've not seen Chinese people doing that. And this is really something that we really need to look into and say, why is it that these people can't do what the other real investors used to do when they were back here? So that must now tell us how we must operate when we have to operate with the Chinese people. We have to make sure that we monitor them. We have to make sure that we get into contracts that are binding and very, very, strong, to make sure that they don't just do for the sake of doing, and then they milk our money and they take our money away. And the idea of bringing their own people also is very, very disturbing. While we have very many people that really need work, that are unemployed in our own countries, because they have to work in their own countries. If you are not going to give Zimbabwean people work in their own country, then it becomes a problem. I don't have any problems with foreigners or other people coming from other nations. No, that one is not my issue. My issue is that Chinese companies would want to bring Chinese from China to come and work and fire the local people. That one on its own becomes a problem. If a company is foreign and would come and employ the local people, and even if it can have its own people from their land, but they shouldn't be the majority of the people in that company, like what we eventually see happening with the Chinese. So ZANU PF, now look at it. I'm sure because the big wigs are already in agreement with these Chinese, they will never fire them. They will just go home, and it will just die a natural death, just like that. Because as long as the bosses are still getting their cuts from the Chinese, they will never bother whatever could be happening to the people that are fired. And that's one thing that we always tell ZANU PF people and youth, that ZANU PF cares about you when they still need you. When they don't need you, they don't care about you. They don't even care what happens to you. So I don't think these ZANU PF people can ever go anywhere and succeed in having the Chinese reinstating them. They would rather just lose their jobs and go home, because there's no one who will stand for them, especially when there are big wigs that are in connection with these owners in courts of the Bikita mine. So this is what it is, family. Very disturbing, the things that we continue to see happening in the nation. But let's continue to stand and demand freedom for Zimbabwe and pray for the nation of Zimbabwe. We want a working country. We want a progressive Zimbabwe. And that is going to happen in the season of change. And that is the season in which we are. Let's fight our battle until victory is certain. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. We will be meeting in the upcoming shows, and remain blessed.